Shalom, all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua, Ba'ashem Rakakadash, double honors to your elder apostles that rule well, Shalom to the brothers doing work, sent with truth, pushing the words of four corners, man. Shalom to the hopeful elect. Um, Wanted to touch over the, situation you got around this Chris Cabba Ute, where you basically had in like 2 years back, where this guy got shot, and he got shot by gun police, which in the UK, not all police carry guns. You're gonna have to basically have a situation of a certain level of severity, have a certain level of severity for it to, gun police to be dispatched. And when it happened, there was that big media outcry. But then when you look at the details of what the situation was, the car that he was in was flagged for being involved in a shootout, like recently within, I think either the day before or relatively recently, and that detail was released. But then I remember hearing that he was meant to be he was meant to be, well, what I heard was at the time this came out was he was around, man that on the road, so involved in a gang lifestyle. But then when now you've basically had the sentence went out this morning, and then the police officer that shot him was cleared of murder, and it was, at the time, I remember there was a big fuss because I think a lot of gun police went on strike when he got arrested for it. And now looking at the full details, the shit sounds like it was a setup to just rouse that kind of emotions within Jake, and all for what? Because it was basically similar to like the Mark Duggan situation in 2011, where they're uh that guy was not anyone worthy of like people going out and busting shit up. Like he was not the one. But then Jake will take any any you know dark skinned corpse, and then and then make it their martyr. So this is on the Guardian. It says Chris Cabba shot man in club and was alleged core member of London gang, which is just fucking funny. When you hear, like, because in the time it's like, if this guy had been shot and he was here like, oh, he was a core member of a gang, and he shot a guy in a club a month before, whatever it is, then then no one would have given a fuck. All that was being reported was that he was an unarmed man killed by the police. I remember that was all you were hearing, is unarmed man. I was like, bro, what? Like, okay. It's like, why am I even gonna get aroused anyway? A lot of these Jake are out here on road, living that lifestyle. He that killeth for the sword must be killed with the sword. You know, that's the like, you engage in that lifestyle, then what do you expect? Like, that's the thing, is it gets up to a certain heat. This is like fucking Grand Theft Auto, man. Like in GTA, you go around, you shoot up whatever, you shoot up civilians, you shoot up police. Then eventually you get notoriety, and then the higher your notoriety gets, the bigger the what's the word? Not bounce back, not feedback. The reaction you get, you know, to where, in GTA it would be like you just get one police officer come try arrest you, then afterwards it'll be like a squad car, and then multiple squad cars, and then you'll get the SWAT team, and then you'll get the army come through. As the thing is if once it hits a certain threshold, then you get a certain amount of interest, and they're like, okay, we're gonna have to take action. They'll send a certain level of force, and this guy hit that threshold where it was obviously like, they were, okay, we're sending firing squad to take this guy, to fucking blow this guy away. Says that Chris Cabot, an unarmed man killed by police firearms officer, was pictured on CCTV shooting a man on a nightclub dance floor and was alleged to be a core member of a London gang. It can be revealed. A judge ruled on Tuesday that the details of Cabot's criminal past could be released a day after Metropolitan Police Officer Martin Blake was cleared of murdering him. Details of Cabot's past offending. I want to see what they were saying in that order, in this, because this would have been before it came out. Who shot an unarmed suspect in the head has been acquitted of murder. The stop in a residence street was being followed while driving an Audi. The police was believed was late. So yeah, this is all the information that came out before. Where it's just like, even with that, the unanimous not guilty verdict, which took just 3 hours to reach, fueled police anger that Blake was ever put on trial. And yes, it's like, looking at the situation, it wasn't even a case where, like, in reality, him being put on trial was like, that's why they went on strike, because it was, the whole situation was just, it was looking so like, I don't even know how you try to make this a thing. The decision to charge Blake, who had never fired a shot on duty before, had already infuriated his fellow firearms officers, as well as Force Commissioner Mark Rowley. He called the system broken. Does it say if they went on strike? Because I think in the UK, if you ever shoot someone, I don't even know if it's a matter of if you kill them. But I think if you shoot someone, you have to, like, you'll basically be investigated. More or less, it will be like an investigation done that to ensure that you were justified in shooting someone, is how they have it in the UK currently. Gross misconduct. So you might still get fucked over. That's hilarious. Justice for Chris Cabot. Man said they had placards, "Justice for Chris Cabot." Supporters chanted, "Say his name, Chris Cabot, and no justice, no peace." Come on, man. Come on. You're just taking some random drug dealing crime, Jake, from the ends, and then you trying to deify him. Like, what's going on? Cabot's family said the not guilty verdict leaves us with a deep pain of injustice, adding to the unbearable sorrow we have felt since Chris was killed. No family should endure the unimaginable grief we have faced. What about the unimaginable grief he was causing on the wild with his lifestyle choices? Like, that guy was, moving as a fucking criminal, man. What about that? But that's, it's kind of like The Wire goes into it. It's more of an American perspective. But a lot of the, the street, the gangster lifestyle is, there's a shine to it. There's an allure that Jake have for that street lifestyle. It's even from young, where they'll kind of be like, oh, they'll respect someone that's, selling drugs, doing criminal activities. And then, the family's just going to be like, oh, I can't believe this. Bro, what the fuck is it, bro? If he's on ends, gangbanging, he can shut the fuck up. I'm going to feel anything for him. But yeah, that's why it's funny as hell, because they have the footage down there. So, okay. So it says details of Cabot's past offending were not put before the jury in the murder trial at the Old Bailey because the judge, Mr. Justice Goss, ruled they were not relevant. I mean, I don't even know how that makes sense. Blake, at the point he pulled the trigger on 5th of September 2022, did not know these details and did not know who was in the Audi Q8. Okay, yeah. Oh, so it was a firearms incident the night before. So yeah, it's Marcus Potter. So also in the boot was court paperwork and other letters belonging to Cornell Bang Boy, a former music producer once convicted of county lines drug dealing. Early in 2022, he'd been driving the same old Audi when stopped by on police. This year, Pottinger, Gamboy, and third man were convicted of offences linked to a shooting in an oval space nightclub in Hackney, East London, were jailed. Shooting was catch on CCTV and shows a man with a gun chasing another man across a busy dance floor and shooting him in the leg. The man chases the victim onto the street outside while firing the gun, and the victim received another gunshot to the leg. Cab was named in court during the Hackney shooting trial as the gunman. He had arrived at the nightclub in the same Audi in which police shot him dead 6 days later. So yeah, the car was linked to a shooting the night before, which is why I was just like, I don't know what. Well, if he's gonna say he's unarmed and blah, what the fuck were you doing in that car? Bro, I don't find myself just being driven around in a car unless you're in a certain kind of lifestyle. You're not gonna find yourself in a whip with in a whip that was involved in a shooting the day before. Unless you've got a certain relationship with them guys. Because I think they had. Okay, yeah. So that's the footage. Oh yeah, and it's got the strap. And it's bussing. So man came out of jail in April. So in 2017, he was shot in a gang feud. In 2019, he was convicted of having an imitation firearm. And in mid-September, he faced a hearing to decide if he deserved a gang prevention order. He was alleged to be a gang lieutenant whose street name was Itch. So that's why it's like, and this is the thing is anytime they're saying like, oh, it's terrible, we've lost the son, blah blah. I'm like what, how was this guy living his life? It was a road youth, man. He was on the road. But that's for Jake. Jake is simple as all hell. Jake loves these little black martyrs. They're gonna go and be like marching and screaming, getting all up in a huff over them. But then what's that really doing for you? Really, you're just screaming to Esau like, please give us a slice, give us some place within Babylon, man, just so we can that's really what you're crying for. And a lot of that drug slinging, gang banging is seen as black culture, which is a reason again why it's like how you meant to find any salvation underneath that black. Isaiah 30:1, it says, woe to rebellious children, saith the Lord Yahweh, that take counsel but not of me, and that cover with a covering but not of my spirit, that they may add sin to sin, that walk to go down into Egypt. And yeah, that's really, you're covering, you're trying to go and find another covering within Esau's system, where it's like, oh, he's gonna, Esau's gonna nice you some means or some way, because that's the reality of it. Is you're kind of looking at it like, yeah, with kind of looking like, yeah, uh this if we protest, we can get some kind of social program, some kind of renown, some kind of shine within Esau's system that will reflect back off the back of it. But then what's in reality, it's BS. That's been from this, like even from when Jake's been in the Americas, that shit's been a wash. And then over here as well, Jake over here, you suffered. I mean, even there was something I saw on Twitter where it was saying it was a fucking Danish guy, I think, or something, some random fuck was just like, oh yeah, you can't be black and be British. That's how that's really how it is. They're kind of looking at like, yo, you guys are still, no matter what you do, how you function, you're not going to be counted as, as one of us. And that's, you go back to Genesis 25. um you had that contention between Jacob and Esau, and then all throughout the scriptures, it reflects again and again that dynamic between Jacob and Esau, where there ain't gonna be no love, man. Always a grievous unto him, man. That's why it's like, even, trimming your ways to find love, trying to find, just and chop and change so you can have some place in Esau's land. It ain't gonna work. All this screaming and protesting and whatever. How's it big 2024, and then, it's been however many decades and you still ain't accomplished your goal. Racism still hasn't been conquered, even in football. Yo, man, these men had all kinds of fucking little programs of, get racism out of this, and no, say no to race, and yet somehow it still exists. Come the fuck on, man. The walk to go down into Egypt, and have not asked at my mouth, to strengthen themselves in the strength of Pharaoh, and to trust in the shadow of Egypt. And yeah, that's as deep as it is. You're basically going to, receive, a covering, strengthened by, this kingdom, the ruler, this system. And that's not anything new. That's been done over and over. And somehow the reason you're still here is because that shit ain't worked. Ain't worked out how you've desired. Surely look at it and think, how is it this guy's getting his fucking brains blown out? And, and you realize, damn, nothing's changed. It says, therefore shall the strength of Pharaoh be your shame, and the trust in the shadow of Egypt your confusion. And yeah, it's basically going to result in, taking it out. It's going to be to your own destruction, all that faith within the system. It says, what? Hear the word of the Lord Yahweh. Hosea 4:1. Hear the word of the Lord Yahweh, ye children of Israel. For Lord Yahweh have a controversy with the inhabitants of the land, because there's no truth, nor mercy, nor knowledge of the Most High in the land. By swearing and lying and killing and stealing and committing adultery, they break out, and blood toucheth blood. And yeah, there's no knowledge of the Most High in the land. And that's, applicable to Jake now, by and large. These men know Jesus Christ. They know God, but they don't know Yahweh B'Shem Yahshua B'Shem HaKadosh. They've got no clue. Maybe that first, they've got no clue what, how you meant to follow in stead, of Yahweh Shai. They have no clue of how you can receive salvation. They know all about these worldly things. And then what? It's, by swearing, lying, killing, stealing. That's, that crime life. That low life, of your father, the devil. Low life is apt term. That's really how it is for a huge amount of a Jake out here. It says, therefore shall the land mourn, and everyone that dwelleth therein shall languish, with the beasts of the field, and with the fowls of heaven. Yea, the fishes of the sea also shall be taken away. And I'll skip down to verse 6. It says, what my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge, because thou hast rejected knowledge, I will also reject thee, that thou shalt be no priest to me. Seeing thou hast forgotten the law of thy power, I will also forget thy children. And yeah, destroyed for lack of knowledge. The knowledge you increase in is, how to get a slice of Esau shit. But then not realizing, maybe there's a reason that, to this day, Jake is still getting blown away. Jake is still not able to achieve that elusive, mysterious, alluring equality. Somehow still can't be achieved. After all these decades, how is that? But then you don't have the understanding of what, what really, what the realities of the world, man, the universe, how nations are, and how impossible it is to try and be like, okay, yeah, we're gonna defeat race, you're gonna take racism, you're gonna suplex it, you're gonna choke slam it, you're gonna people's elbow it, and then unload, for a extended clip, an extended mag into it. That ain't gonna happen. uh, Isaiah 3 and 12 says, "As for my people, children are their oppressors, and women rule over them. O my people, they that lead thee cause thee to err, and destroy the way of thy paths." Yeah, they that rule thee cause thee to err. And all the heads of of Israel, all these different tribes among Israel, you really do have no, there's no understanding in the past they're given outside of those that are teaching this truth. It's nothing but confusion wherever you go. And people up in the church, people out on the roads, people doing whatever, assimilating into Esau's realm. You do all that, you put all that effort in, and then have you gained understanding? No. You're trying to get, some means of understanding. It's shockingly, it's not materializing. But yeah, I'll leave it there. Shalom, shalom.